A single father loses everything after standing up for truth. A powerful billionaire destroys his life for revenge. But when his daughter's life hangs by a thread, enemies become allies. Can hate transform into love? Can broken promises lead to beautiful new beginnings? A story that will touch your heart. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. Rain hammered against the window of the small apartment. Inside, Aryan sat on the floor, his 5-year-old daughter Meera sleeping peacefully on his lap. The electricity had gone out again. He couldn't afford to pay the full bill this month. His phone buzzed. Another message from an unknown number. You destroyed my brother. Now I'll destroy you. Aryan's hands trembled. He knew exactly who was sending these messages. Natasha Oberoi. The woman whose brother he had once testified against in court. The woman who had sworn revenge. 3 years ago, Aryan had been a successful architect. He had a beautiful wife, Maya, and a newborn daughter. Life was perfect until that one night when he witnessed Natasha's brother, Vikram, causing a fatal accident while drunk driving. A young college student had died on the spot. Aryan did what he thought was right. He testified in court. His testimony put Vikram behind bars for 8 years. But that decision cost him everything. Within months of the trial, Aryan lost his job. No firm would hire him. His name was blacklisted. Then came the worst blow. His wife Maya was diagnosed with cancer. The medical bills piled up. He sold everything they owned, but it wasn't enough. Maya died on a cold December morning, holding his hand, making him promise one thing. Take care of our Meera. Give her the life I couldn't. Now, 2 years later, Aryan was still fighting. Fighting to keep that promise, fighting against Natasha Oberoi's relentless attacks. Morning came too quickly. Meera woke up with her usual bright smile, the kind that made Aryan forget all his troubles. Papa, I'm hungry, she said, rubbing her eyes. Aryan looked at the empty kitchen. He had 50 rupees left until his next payment from the construction site where he worked as a laborer. Let's go out for breakfast, princess, he said, forcing a smile. They walked to the small tea stall nearby. Aryan ordered 1 paratha and divided it between them, pretending he wasn't hungry. Meera ate happily, telling him about the drawing she wanted to make in school. After dropping Meera at school, Aryan headed to the construction site. At noon, while carrying bricks, he heard a commotion at the entrance. A convoy of expensive cars had arrived. Then he saw her. Natasha Oberoi. She stepped out of a black Mercedes, wearing a designer suit. Her presence commanded attention. She was beautiful, powerful, and cold as ice. Their eyes met across the construction site. For a moment, time stopped. Aryan saw the hatred in her eyes. Who is that man? Natasha's voice cut through the air, pointing directly at Aryan. The supervisor looked nervous. He's just a laborer, madam. Fire him. Immediately. Aryan felt his world crumbling again. This job was all he had. But he wouldn't beg. He put down the bricks and walked toward the exit with his head held high. As he passed by Natasha, he stopped. You've taken everything from me, he said quietly. But you'll never break me. I have something you'll never understand. I have my daughter's love. And that makes me richer than you'll ever be. Days turned into weeks. Aryan couldn't find work anywhere. Natasha's reach was everywhere. Every morning, he woke up before dawn, searching for any job that would help him feed his daughter. He worked odd jobs, cleaning cars, delivering newspapers, carrying loads at the market. His hands, once skilled at drawing magnificent buildings, were now rough and calloused. Each night, he would come home exhausted, but he never let Meera see his pain. He would smile, ask about her day, help her with homework. Sometimes, when she was asleep, he would sit alone and look at old photographs of Maya. He would whisper to her picture, "I'm trying my best. I hope I'm making you proud." The neighbors noticed their struggle. Mrs. Kapoor from downstairs would sometimes leave food at their door, pretending Aryan had ordered it. Mr. Sharma, the old shopkeeper, would give Meera free candies, saying she was his lucky customer. These small acts of kindness kept Aryan's faith in humanity alive. Meera's birthday was coming. She had asked for just one thing, a small cake and a new dress. For weeks, Aryan saved every rupee he could. He skipped meals, walked instead of taking the bus, and worked double shifts. Finally, he sold his watch, the last gift Maya had given him on their anniversary. It broke his heart, but his daughter's smile was worth everything. On Meera's birthday morning, she woke up to find the small cake and dress. Her eyes lit up like stars. "Papa! You remembered." She hugged him so tight that Aryan felt all his struggles were worth it. They celebrated in their tiny apartment. Aryan sang for her, and they danced together. Meera wore her new dress and twirled around happily. For those few hours, they forgot about their struggles. They forgot about the unpaid bills, the empty refrigerator, and the uncertain future. Meera made a wish before blowing out the candles. "I wish Papa never has to be sad again." That evening, there was a knock on the door. When Aryan opened it, he found an envelope on the floor. Inside was an eviction notice. They had 1 month to leave. The landlord had received a better offer, double the rent, from an anonymous buyer. Aryan knew who was behind this. Natasha was tightening her grip, making sure he had nowhere to hide, nowhere to rest. The next morning, when Aryan went to pick Meera up from school, the principal called him to her office. "Mr. Aryan, I'm sorry, but we cannot keep Meera in this school anymore. We received a call from our trust board." Aryan felt like the ground beneath him was slipping away. He knew this was Natasha's doing. She was going after his innocent daughter. That night, Aryan sat alone in the darkness. For the first time in years, tears rolled down his face. But then he looked at Meera, sleeping peacefully. She trusted him completely. He couldn't give up. He would confront Natasha one last time. He would beg her to leave his daughter alone. His pride didn't matter anymore. Finding Natasha Oberoi wasn't difficult. Her office building stood tall in the heart of the city. The security guard stopped him at the entrance, but when Aryan insisted, they let him through. Natasha sat behind a massive desk. "So, the broken man finally comes to beg," she said coldly. Aryan walked closer. "You're right. I'm here to beg. But not for myself, for my daughter. She's 5 years old. She's innocent. Please, leave her alone. Punish me all you want, but don't hurt my child." Natasha stood up. "My brother has been in prison for 3 years because of you. My father had a heart attack when he heard the verdict. He's paralyzed now, unable to speak." "I'm sorry for your pain," Aryan said. "But your brother killed someone. I did what was right." "Right? You destroyed my family for being right. Then you should understand my pain," Aryan said. "I lost my wife. My daughter lost her mother. But I never asked for sympathy. But now you're punishing my innocent daughter. How is that right?" For a moment, silence filled the room. "Get out," Natasha said finally. That night, Natasha couldn't sleep. Aryan's words kept echoing in her mind. The image of his desperation disturbed her in a way she couldn't explain. She remembered her own father before the stroke. He had loved his children fiercely. Just like Aryan loved his daughter. The next morning, Natasha did something she hadn't done in 3 years. She decided to look deeper into the accident case. 3 days later, she had a thick file. She spent hours reading it. The police reports, the witness statements, the victim's details. Rohit Mehta. 21 years old. A brilliant student, the only son of a poor schoolteacher. She read Vikram's blood alcohol report. He had been severely drunk. She read Aryan's statement. It was straightforward, factual, honest. Natasha felt something crack inside her. Her brother hadn't been innocent. She visited Vikram in prison the next day. "Tell me the truth about that night," she demanded. Her brother looked down. "I was drunk. I was driving too fast. I killed that boy. I deserve to be here." "Then why did you never tell me?" "Because I was ashamed. I let you destroy an innocent man's life because I couldn't face the truth." Natasha felt the room spinning. "All this time, I've been punishing the wrong person." Natasha left the prison in a daze. She drove to the cemetery and found Rohit Mehta's grave. She knelt beside it. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I was so blinded by my family's pain that I forgot about yours." She sat there crying for the first time in years. When she finally left, she knew what she had to do. She had to make things right. She started by reversing everything. She bought Aryan's apartment building, ensuring he couldn't be evicted. She had Meera readmitted to school with a scholarship fund. But she knew these were just surface fixes. She had destroyed Aryan's career. That couldn't be fixed with money alone. One evening, Natasha appeared at Aryan's apartment. He opened the door and his expression hardened. "What do you want now?" "I need to talk to you. Please. I know about my brother's accident. The truth about it." Aryan paused. "After 3 years of destroying my life, I was wrong. I'm here to make it right." Against his better judgment, Aryan let her in. Natasha explained everything. Her investigation, her visit to Vikram, her realization. "I'm starting a new architecture division in my company," she said. "I want you to head it. I'll clear your name in the industry. I don't want your charity. This isn't charity. It's giving you back what I took." "My answer is no. I don't trust you. Think about your daughter. Don't you dare use my daughter as leverage." Natasha stood up. "You're right. I'm sorry. But the offer stands." Weeks passed. Things were getting slightly easier, though Aryan didn't know why. The landlord had stopped talking about eviction. Meera's school fees were mysteriously paid. Aryan suspected something but couldn't figure out what. He found work at a small design firm, doing basic drafting. It wasn't much, but it was in his field. For the first time in years, he felt like an architect again. His boss, an elderly man named Mr. Khanna, saw potential in him. "You have talent, Aryan. Don't let the world break your spirit." One night, Meera developed a high fever. Aryan gave her medicine and tried home remedies, but her temperature kept rising. By midnight, she was burning up and struggling to breathe. Panic seized his heart. He wrapped her in a blanket and rushed to the nearest hospital. The emergency room was crowded, and the receptionist barely looked at him. "Fill out these forms and wait. Please, my daughter can't breathe properly. She needs help now." A doctor finally examined Meera. His expression grew serious. "She has pneumonia. It's advanced. She needs immediate admission, oxygen support, and strong antibiotics. Please admit her. I'll arrange the money somehow." The doctor looked sympathetic but helpless. "I'm sorry. Hospital policy requires advance payment. 20,000 rupees. 20,000 rupees. Aryan didn't have even 2,000. He begged, pleaded, promised to pay in installments. But the hospital administration was firm. "We can't admit her without payment. Try a government hospital." The nearest government hospital was miles away, and Meera was getting worse. Aryan sat on a bench outside the emergency room, holding his daughter, feeling more helpless than ever before. Meera's little body trembled in his arms. Her breathing was shallow. "Papa. I'm cold," she whispered. "I know, baby. I'm going to fix this. I promise." But how? He had no money, no one to call, nowhere to turn. In that moment of complete desperation, he thought of the one person he had sworn never to ask for help. His hands shaking, he dialed Natasha's number. In desperation, he called Natasha. "My daughter, she's sick. Pneumonia. They won't admit her without payment. Please help her. I'll do anything." "Which hospital?" "I'm coming right now." Natasha arrived in 8 minutes. Within minutes, Meera was admitted to the best private room. Top specialists were called. Hours passed. Finally, the doctor came out. "She's stable now. She's going to be fine." Arian broke down. "Thank you for saving her." "You don't need to thank me. And you don't need to take my job offer as payment." Over the next few days, as Meera recovered, Natasha visited every day. Gradually, something shifted between them. One afternoon, while Meera was sleeping, they talked. "Why did you testify against my brother?" Natasha asked. "Because a boy died. He had a mother who waited for him. He mattered. You have more integrity than anyone I've ever met. When you came to my office and begged me to leave your daughter alone, I saw pure love. You were willing to sacrifice everything for her. I realized my revenge had already taken a mother from a child. Was I going to take her father too?" When Meera was discharged, Arian made a decision. He accepted Natasha's job offer. Not because he forgave her, but because he needed to give his daughter a better life. His first project was designing a community center for underprivileged children. As he worked, Arian felt something he hadn't felt in 3 years: purpose. Months passed. Arian's designs were brilliant. More projects came. He was slowly regaining his reputation. But something else was happening. Arian and Natasha were spending more time together. The hatred between them was transforming into respect, understanding, maybe even friendship. One day, Natasha asked if she could visit their home. When she arrived, she brought gifts for Meera. "Papa, is this your friend?" Meera asked innocently. Arian looked at Natasha. "Yes, princess. She's a friend." Natasha's eyes filled with tears at that word. They spent the evening together. After Meera went to sleep, they sat on the small balcony. "This is happiness, isn't it?" Natasha said. "Not the penthouses or cars. This. You can have this too. It's not too late. I don't know if I deserve it. None of us deserve the good things we get. We just have to be open to them." Over the following year, Natasha changed. She spent less time in her office and more time on meaningful projects. She built schools, hospitals, and community centers. And she spent time with Arian and Meera. Slowly, she became a part of their lives. She attended Meera's school functions, helped with homework, celebrated her achievements. Meera had accepted Natasha completely. "Aunt Natasha is nice, Papa. I like her." One evening, Natasha took them to meet her father. When he saw Meera, something softened in his expression. Arian approached and knelt beside the wheelchair. "Sir, I know you may hate me. But I did what I believed was right. I'm sorry for your pain. But I'm not sorry for telling the truth." A tear rolled down the old man's face. His hand moved slightly toward Arian. It was acceptance. 2 years later, Arian's career had fully recovered. Meera was thriving. And Natasha had become irreplaceable in their lives. One evening, after dinner, Meera asked, "Aunt Natasha, why don't you stay with us?" After Meera went to bed, the conversation continued. "I'm asking if you're happy." "Truly happy," Arian said. Being with you and Meera, it feels right. Then stay. Not as a guest. But as someone who belongs here. Arian, after everything I did. You paid for your mistakes. You changed. And that person. I want her in my life. I love you, Natasha. Natasha felt tears streaming down her face. I don't deserve this. Maybe not. But we're offering it anyway. Because that's what love does. It forgives. Yes. 1,000 times yes. 6 months later, they had a simple wedding. Vikram was there, released early for good behavior. Rohit Mehta's mother was there too, blessing the couple. Meera was the flower girl. Now I have a mama again, she whispered. As they exchanged vows, they thought about the journey from enemies to love. I promise to honor you, Arian said. To remind you every day of the good person you are. I promise to love your daughter as my own, Natasha said. To never forget the lessons you taught me. It was a new beginning, born from the ashes of pain. Moving into Natasha's mansion was an adjustment. But they converted a wing into a cozy space that felt like home. Meera brought life to the house. Her laughter echoed through the halls. Natasha learned to braid her hair, pack her lunch, read her bedtime stories. She wasn't replacing Maya. She was building her own relationship with Meera, based on love and trust. One afternoon, Natasha's father wrote on a piece of paper, "Thank you for finding your heart again." Within months, he regained some speech. His first full sentence was, "This is family. This is what I always wanted." Natasha wanted to do something meaningful. She discussed it with Arian. I want to start a foundation for people wrongly destroyed by powerful people. They created the Maya Foundation, named after Arian's late wife. The first person they helped was Rohit Mehta's mother. When she heard about it, she came to meet them. You've turned my son's death into something meaningful. Vikram joined the foundation too. He worked with at-risk youth, sharing his story, warning them about drunk driving. Meera was now 8 years old. One day, she asked, "Papa, why don't I remember my real mama?" Arian took out an old photo album. Natasha stayed. They spent the evening looking at photographs. Your mama loved you more than anything, Arian said. Before she died, she made me promise to give you a good life. Meera turned to Natasha. And you're the best mama I could have now. I know you're not my real mama, but you love me like she did. I love you so much, Meera. Do you think my real mama would be happy? Yes, princess. She's watching from heaven, grateful that you have Natasha. 3 years after their wedding, Arian received a National Architecture Award for his community work. The ceremony was grand, filled with the country's most prominent architects and business leaders. Arian stood backstage, nervous. He had come so far from that broken man who used to carry bricks. Natasha squeezed his hand. You deserve this. Go show them what you're made of. When Arian's name was announced, the entire hall erupted in applause. He walked to the stage, and for a moment, he was overwhelmed by emotion. He looked at the audience and saw Meera in the front row, beaming with pride. Beside her sat Natasha, tears already streaming down her face. In his speech, he said, 5 years ago, I lost everything. My career, my reputation, my beloved wife. I was a broken man, working as a laborer, struggling to feed my daughter. I had lost all hope. But I had one thing that kept me going, my daughter's love and the promise I made to my dying wife. He paused, his voice thick with emotion. Then something unexpected happened. The person who destroyed my life became the person who helped rebuild it. People ask me how I could forgive someone who caused me so much pain. But I learned that forgiveness isn't about forgetting the past. It's about not letting the past destroy your future. My late wife Maya taught me about unconditional love. My daughter Meera taught me about resilience and hope. And my current wife Natasha taught me about redemption and second chances. This award isn't just mine. It belongs to everyone who believed in second chances, everyone who chose healing over hatred. The hall gave him a standing ovation that lasted several minutes. People were crying, moved by his words and his journey. After the ceremony, journalists surrounded them. One reporter asked Natasha, "Mrs. Oberoi, is it true that you once tried to destroy your husband's career?" Natasha didn't hesitate. "Yes, it's absolutely true. I was consumed by revenge after my brother went to prison. I used my power and money to systematically destroy Arian's life. I'm not proud of what I did. In fact, it's the biggest regret of my life." "What made you stop?" "Love. Watching a father's unconditional love for his daughter showed me what really matters in life. Not power, not revenge, not pride, but connection, compassion, and the courage to admit when you're wrong. Arian could have hated me forever. He had every right to. But he chose forgiveness. That changed everything." Another journalist asked Arian, "How did you survive those dark years?" "I survived because I had a reason to. Every morning, my daughter would wake up and smile at me, trusting that I would protect her and provide for her. How could I give up when someone believed in me so completely?" Children have this incredible ability to see the best in their parents, even when we're at our worst. Meera's faith in me was stronger than any obstacle. Years passed. Meera grew into a beautiful teenager. She wanted to become an architect and philanthropist, volunteering at the foundation. Arian's firm became one of the most respected. Natasha ran her empire with ethics and compassion. Vikram found peace helping troubled youth. One evening, the family gathered for Meera's 15th birthday. "I want to say something," Arian announced. 15 years ago, Meera was born. 10 years ago, I lost almost everything. 5 years ago, I found it again. Today, I'm the richest man in the world because of the people around this table. I learned that life isn't about avoiding pain. It's about how we respond to it. We can let it make us bitter, or we can let it make us better. We chose better." Vikram spoke. "Arian, you gave me forgiveness when I deserved punishment. You became the man you were meant to be," Arian replied. They all raised their glasses. To love that heals. On Meera's 18th birthday, Arian gave her a letter Maya had written before she died. Meera read it with trembling hands. "My dearest Meera, if you're reading this, I'm no longer with you. I'm sorry I'll miss watching you grow up. But know that I loved you with every breath. Your father is the most honest, brave, and loving man. He will be both your mother and father. Trust him. If your father finds love again, embrace it. He deserves happiness. And you deserve a complete family. Remember that love is the only thing that truly matters. Love fiercely. Love honestly. Love without fear. I'll be watching you. I'll be proud of the woman you become. All my love forever, Mama." Everyone was crying. Meera looked at Arian. "Mama knew you'd find happiness. She knew I'd find Natasha." Meera hugged Natasha. "Thank you for loving us. Thank you for letting me love you." They stood together, a family forged by choice, by forgiveness, by healing. That night, Natasha asked, "Do you ever regret testifying? If I had stayed silent, I wouldn't be the man I am. I wouldn't be the father Meera is proud of. I wouldn't have met you this way. Everything happened exactly as it was meant to. I love you, Arian. Thank you for teaching me how to be human again. I love you too. Thank you for showing me that forgiveness creates miracles." And somewhere, watching over them, Maya smiled. Her husband had kept his promise. He had given their daughter a beautiful life. And he had found happiness again. This was their story. A story of a single father's unwavering love. A story of a powerful woman's transformation. A story of a family built from tragedy. And it proved the simplest truth, that love, in the end, conquers everything. This story shows that even the deepest wounds can heal, that even the worst enemies can become family, and that even the darkest nights can lead to the brightest mornings. All it takes is courage, forgiveness, and the willingness to choose love over hate.